Yeah, the People Podcast. I'm on it here to make you think and take them black to the basis. No gimmicks needed. Our melanin was designed for this greatness. Power was created, the most high, assigned to the favorites. We win as a nation, it's mutual. Young black man, you enough. Ladies, you beautiful. Don't let them tell you different. Your energy can't be shifted. Created, nor destroyed. That's a scientific fact, so opinions is all forward. This is higher learning, higher conscious awareness of self. This that undisputed, undefeated, down in the belt. This your grandma cooking on Sunday morning. Don't touch the fridge. God is good all the time and all the time, yeah, you did. This is music for the mind, lyrics to touch your soul, melody for high frequencies.
Yes, sir. We are back with another episode of Black to the Basics, aka the People's Podcast. I am your host and one half, Mr. 52 the Boss, here with my co-host.
It's your boy Jared, man, checking in. What's going on, people? How's everybody doing out there? My brother, what's going on with it?
Another day,
Another opportunity.
another dollar, another chance to talk to the kinfolk. What's going on with you, man?
Nothing, man. Chilling. You know what I'm saying? It's been a crazy week. Crazy weekend. Was able to get a chance to get away and see my grandparents over the weekend down in Pensacola.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice to be home for a little bit. It was hot, hotter than I ever remember Pensacola being.
You see Roy Jones
Um,
out there?
Nah, dog, it was too hot. We were just trying to stay out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, got a chance to see my brother. Was able to see my sister coming back in Alabama. So man, I was able to knock out a bunch of stuff over the
You
weekend,
stopped
man.
in Alabama?
Yeah, she lives in Montgomery.
Oh.
So we met her at work, you know what I'm saying? So of course, and it was during the day, you know what I mean? Trust me, I know how to travel, when to travel, and what to do when you're traveling
You
when you're
stupid.
going down south. So it was cool, man. I'm just glad to be back. You know what I mean? Just with everything going on in the world today, man. Just a lot of mixed emotions, brother. But how are you feeling, man? How was your weekend? You know what I'm saying? How's everything?
Oh, weekend was great, man. Shout out to my lovely wife Esperanza on us celebrating 11 strong years of marriage. So we got to celebrate that this weekend, man. So it was fun, man. We normally with my wife, we normally go somewhere for our anniversary. But with the kids kind of just starting school, we was like, you know what, we're gonna chill and do something here. But man, it was fun. We got to go to went to the A, man, and got to go to a festival, which I'm just looking for the food, man. Any
Yeah,
festival.
yeah.
So yeah, we dropped the bag on some food there, man. They had funnel cakes and all types of stuff, man. So it was good. Got to hear some live music. They had the little jungle gym area, little bounce house for the kids. So that was super dope. And then after that, man, we decided to do something for the kids, man. We ended up going to well, it was supposed to be for the kids. We went
But
to
it ended up
Dave.
probably being for you.
Oh yeah, I'm super competitive, man. We was on a basketball joint at David Buster's going in, man. I was breaking every record up in that joint. It was nothing but teenagers. So yeah, every few minutes they're like, "Oh my gosh, he broke! How did he break this high score?" Everything, skee ball,
I'm gonna have to
basketball.
report you to the David Buster's Gaming
Hey,
Association or something because that
Hey,
something ain't
man,
right.
we were killing it, and then E, she nice with any game. She's my carnival queen when it comes to prizes. That's why I'm so excited that we're getting close to the fall because we always go to at least 3 different fairs, particularly the North Carolina State Fair. So I can't wait. It's been a few years since we've gone due to the pandemic, but man,
Yeah.
we used to have at least, I mean, like I think she went on like a 5 year straight run of just getting the large. I mean, I'm talking the large stuffed animals is like 4 feet tall.
Oh man, y'all out there
5 years
hustling.
straight. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So when we go there, it's a problem. We leave it with something. So
Hey, we gonna do the one in Perry. You know what I'm saying? They normally do one
yeah, I do
here
the
at
one
the
pair. Yeah, that's
Atlanta Motor Speedway, but
yep.
I've never been to one in Perry. I don't think anything compares to the Pensacola Fair, like at the
Right.
fairgrounds. So I'm looking forward to that too, man. I'm just looking forward to the fall as well too, so I can throw my hoodies on. You know what I'm saying? Because your boy, I'm steadily dropping. You know, man. Shout out to the program. You know what I'm saying? Staying
Yeah.
focused. So I
I
put on
got
the hoodie the other day. You know what I'm saying? I got room in that joint. So yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait for the weather to change. Now you feel
Why don't you
me?
just be like the teenagers now that's rocking now?
No,
It don't
sir.
matter.
I don't know what it is. The hotter it is, it's like the more clothes that the teens put on
Yeah,
nowadays.
that's
Like
the
I don't,
style, man. That's the
nah,
style
dog.
right now, Irv.
It's 100 degrees. You shouldn't have a hoodie on all the way to the top. Like I'm just not doing that, bro.
I just wanted to fall all together. It's just like, I mean, getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and it's still 85 degrees. I'm like, I just can't wait to the fall time altogether. So
Yeah,
I'm definitely
yes,
looking
sir.
forward to that. But hey, man, y'all know we can't start any show without first talking to the people. And for that, y'all know I got to have that talk to 'em 52.
Let's get it.
So, talk to him 52 today. Y'all know I try to drop some wisdom, some knowledge, but sometimes, man, I'm gonna take a page out the social media book today. I actually had to pull up something. So I saw something this week where there's been a rumor going on about the situation between Kiki Palmer and her boyfriend, right? They made the whole deal of, are they together? Are they not together? You know, she's an independent woman. She don't need somebody holding her down and trying to sweat her because of the Usher situation, right? So saw that, was like, okay, I hear it. And then we saw what happened and thought they broke up. And then now see them going out to dinner, living it up. Life is good. Everything is good. People felt a certain type of way. Then there was another rumor going on when you had the guy, Mr. Steve Harvey, that where someone spread a rumor that him and his wife were having issues, that she was messing with his bodyguard or security guard, whatever you may have. And then he came out and said, "Nah, that's not true, man. My wife is good. I don't know who started this. I don't know where it came from, but it's definitely not true." So today's Talk to Him 52, I like to say, listen, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe trick. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are out here trying to spread vicious lies and rumors. They're looking to go viral, to spread, to get some clout, to prove that they're worthy of whatever the case may be. And what ends up happening is you get vested into these celebrities and people that are entertainers. You get invested to their lives and you feel like you really know these people. Then you all in their business, you spreading, you talking to your friends and family. I'm telling you now, it's really not worth it. There are much more things that are important in your life that should be much more important, I should say, in your life than to sit here and worry about these celebrities and what they have going on. A lot of times people just making up stuff just to go viral, just to be the first one to break the story, and it's not even true. And even if it was true, so what? What does it do? What does it do for you to be invested in these people's lives and have all the tea, quote unquote, about what's going on in their life? Does it help you? Does it make your business grow? Does it make you feel better that other people have an issue? It really doesn't. So again, I don't want y'all to fall for this banana in the tailpipe trip. That people just trying to get you to finesse you to believe something so you can spread it and keep going. And all it does is turns out to be wrong or false, or even if it is true, people still move on with their lives. So the same thing you should do. Don't fall for the banana tailpipe trip. That's my talk to him 52. That's all I got for y'all today, man. Tired of all
Man,
these people out here spreading all this stuff, man. Look,
let's
let these people
let's go,
live.
man. Yeah, let them live, man. You know what I'm saying? That's
They
the
gonna
one
do.
thing.
People gonna do what they want regardless.
But you know
People
what's
can
crazy though?
live whatever crazy, and then they still gonna do it. So let them do
The
it.
same thing applies with relationships, right? So you know when you get in an argument with your significant other, you don't tell your family members because what happens is your family members get all upset, right?
Yeah, because
And
they
if you're
only hear the
not
bad.
and if you're not planning on leave that person, it creates a bad scenario or situation, man. So just let
Right.
people live their lives and do what they do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, people were really upset. Like, oh, how she gonna take it back? Like, who said that she even? She never even said that they broke up at all.
Yeah,
And even if they did, so what? Like, how does that
just
help anything was going on
all
with
all
you, dog?
publicity, man. That's all it was, bro. Like
Don't
let people
fall for
live their
that,
lives.
man. People just made up a whole situation, and Steve, like, what are you talking about? Like this, people were doing think pieces and all types of things, man. So it's just it. I'm not even surprised the lengths that people will go to try to go viral or make up some type of story. But
What I
that,
say, man, I tell people to mind their business. I tell all the time, man, mind your business. You know what I'm
that
saying? Like, if it don't affect you, just don't worry about it. You feel me?
hey, man, just keep it moving. But hey, y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Players Lounge.
Let's get it, man.
All your sports and entertainment news right here. Let's get it.
So we had a lot of stuff take place in sports over the last couple months. For the last couple of days. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we're gonna get right into it. And we're gonna shout out Miss Biles. You know what I'm saying? Breaking records out here. You know what I'm
Bah,
saying?
the
The
goat.
goat respectively.
She
You
the
know what I'm
goat.
saying? Inspiration to all the young women and of all ages out there. You know what I'm saying? My baby now is in gymnastics and now she's watching all the videos. So now I have something that I can pull up on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube or just have her watch it together. So
All right.
I'm excited about that. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with that, man. Then we got your boy. What's your thoughts, man? This I'm gonna let you take it there first,
you
brother.
you want me to start
I'm
there?
gonna let you. I'm gonna just alley you, man. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right. So you talking about Noah Lyles, right?
Yes, absolutely. What's your thoughts on that,
Ah,
bro?
so first of all, let me add this context before I say anything. I've tried to find the full video, right? Because I understand that sometimes you only get snippets of certain things and it's not really in context. So I tried to
Yeah.
find the full video, which I could not find, of how did the whole conversation spark up to get to that point. I don't know. So I'm just going off of what I saw from the clip after
Hmm.
that. So I don't know if the reporter asked him something and he went in or he just, threw that out. But when I initially saw it, I thought it was like a in-house joke, like a ha, like a joke.
Right.
But I thought it was a little divisive, considering yeah, you U.S. world champion. You're the world. You're competing. For your country, and then now you still have to come back to see all these people that you're quote unquote kind of pissing these people off,
Yeah.
because you're making small of what they're doing. So, I mean, I thought, like I said, it was a joke, kind of in poor taste in the sense of like, I think that would have been more of an in-house. Like if I was in the locker room or we was just, sitting around talking or whatever, I think it would
Yeah.
have
But
been
to
like a
do
cool
it
thing.
there.
I think in that platform, it was cool for the laughs, but you could tell he played to the crowd, to the reporters who he said it to.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, if you want to get technical, and I guess he's going technically, you're not competing against other countries. And the other side of that argument, well, you have what it was. I think the study showed what it was 450 players in the NBA, and like 120 were from 40 other countries were represented
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
that.
So you have people, some of your bigger superstars,
Right,
your Giannis, your Lucas, your Dirks, your Ginobili's, they
right.
come over to the NBA to do what? To
Yeah,
play
yeah,
in
yeah.
the
They
best
came to
league,
compete. So I mean, it's
right?
just so many. That it's so loaded, dog. Like if you want to kind of be high technically, okay, cool, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. All right, whatever. But on the flip side, it's not really because you're competing from people that are from other countries. Yes, you're not competing that company. I mean that country, but also you have to factor in why are people coming from other countries to the NBA?
And there's other
Because
leagues out there, you know what I'm saying?
right, but
And
why are they coming to the NBA? Because it's the
because it's the
best.
best of the world. And
Like.
then when we go to the Olympics, you know what I'm saying? Typically, we dominate, you know what I'm saying? In a lot of sports.
Right,
So
and so when people come over, they're sending like the people that you named that are from overseas. They're the best of the best from their country, so they're
yes.
representing their country in that. So I mean, I get it that he was trying to, trying to get his little chuckles. He kind of get his hee hees and ha ha's and you funny and all that. But I'm like, you still got to come home back to the U.S.
Right.
Like,
That's why I was like, does he not live here? Or you know what I'm
right.
saying? That's
So I thought that was kind of like, I ain't really get it. The more important thing that I thought was the bigger thing that I think a lot of people miss. He's on the stage because he won medals in I think it was two or three events, right? I
yeah,
think it was the 4
something
by
like that.
one, the 100 and the 200, if I'm correct. How many people are talking about him actually winning a medal?
They was
None.
talking about the
You get
comments.
what I'm saying? So it's just like the reason you were there is not even the reason people are talking about you. So it's just like you gotta, in my opinion, I would just trying to make that more about me and not trying to deflect to someone else
Yeah.
just because I mean what you've accomplished is great. No one has done that, I think, since Usain. So you know how his name rings across,
I
still to
mean,
this day. He retired.
Yeah, and
But
he's still getting buzz. You know what I'm saying?
right. So I think it was a better moment for him to. I mean, it's cool to get the laughs and ha, but I think you kind of took the moment away from you, and now people are talking about everything except the whole reason that you were even there.
On the stage,
The
on the
whole reason you
podium
were there
itself.
is to compete for the country, and
Yeah.
you won gold, and not one person is even talking about what you've done or accomplished for that. So I think that's the most disheartening part about it. Is like, all right, it was okay, cool. It was a funny joke. It was ha cool,
Yeah.
but you still got to come home to these same people that now you gonna want, because
You want
now,
the support.
right, and then now you go put yourself in a position where now people gonna look for everything. People only once they feel like you have offended them or made them feel a certain way, they looking for the downfall.
Yeah,
So you
absolutely. It
can't
happens with
don't have
everybody.
no false starts. Don't have no hey, you ain't get off the blocks right. Don't have no hey, you got beat in trials or anything like that because
Yeah.
now everything is going to be scrutinized. And I just think it was no point to really do it. I mean, I get what he was saying and people are like, "Yeah, protect them." Like, "Yeah." But how long has the NBA, if I'm not, if I'm not wrong, has been in since like the 40s, right?
So let me put
So
another
it's like
perspective
70
for you.
years, right?
It's only been 5,000 people to ever play in the NBA.
That's crazy.
Think about it
That's
like that.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
So 5,000 people since the inception of the NBA,
That's crazy.
5,000 people have played in the league, right? So the best of the best, I mean, it's a lot of people play ball. A lot of people play basketball around the country.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, around the world. So you mean tell me the best of the best? And I think out of that 5,000, I want to say it's like 150, maybe close to 200, have all been from
Mhm.
international players. So
Right, right.
I understand what he was saying. Wrong time, wrong place.
It was
And
an
it's
in-house. I feel like it was an in-house joke. That should have been some.
but it should have been if he was going to use his platform and not talk about himself. There's a lot of different other things that could have
Other
brought
issues going on in the
other
world.
issues that he could have brought awareness to and just said,
Yes.
hey, whatever the situation is. So yeah, I don't know, man. But so you gonna have to fill me in on the tennis situation because I'm not I watch tennis, but I didn't catch this incident over the
Mhm.
weekend. What's your thoughts? I know it seemed like because I know this happened before, and
Mhm.
I'm not sure if this is the same ref or whatever her position was.
The
This
umpire,
happened to
yes.
Serena and Venus before, so history repeats itself. So I'm just trying to figure out,
Yeah, so they were
um,
they were Coco was in the match with the competitor, and every time it was time for the serve, it was like delayed. She was taking extra seconds where you only supposed to have a certain amount of time. So she let a few go by, and then it was like Coco would be ready to serve, or she would serve, and they'd be like, "Oh no, she wasn't ready.
she's
Like
not
start
ready
over."
yet. Okay,
So
I
it's
got you.
like anyone who understands sports, there's a rhythm when
Yep.
you get into, and you're always looking to find that rhythm. And once you get out of that, or cold, as they say, it throws everything off. While people are like, oh, some people are like, oh, well, she just this and this. And I'm like, but she won the match still. She won the whole thing altogether. But more importantly, you understand the tactics of that. The rules are the rules. Like it's not just
Yeah, it should apply to
just
everybody.
right. And so if you're in a position where we're going back and forth in this match, and now you're taking extra time to give yourself anybody you are as a football fan, when it comes to kickers those extra seconds, and we're gonna ice the kicker.
They got to be in
All
the
those
rhythm,
things,
brother.
yeah, all of those things play a factor into that, and it's a tactic. And I think the worst part about the whole thing is what we have been, saying for many years. After everything is said and done, the person who's committing these acts, meaning the person that she was competing with, does what typical, a lot of white women do. They do the cry and oh my gosh, and everyone feels sorry, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and then it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. Then they villainize Coco and other tennis players and other people of color that have experienced a similar situation. So I'm glad that Coco fought for what she was saying. She was respectable when she was talking. She wasn't like
Yep.
talking crazy, or
She
she's
didn't turn
talking with
up
respect. She's saying, look, no, this is a rule. Like I watched this happen. I ain't say nothing in the first set. So now we in the second and third set. Like
and it's still going
you
on.
gotta call it. Like, what's going on? Then they had the moment where she was they had the moment before they like kind of standing there, but you're not supposed to sit down according to the rules. Shorty was
Okay.
sitting down, got the water kicked up, and then people like, oh, was she eating grapes? Like, but she was standing up. Like,
Yeah.
one thing that people that are professionals that play it and excel at the highest level, they know is the rules. Think about your greats like Kobe, and Kobe knew the rules. Like he knew
Yeah,
what a ref gonna be. He knew what was the foul, what was this, what was that. So people who are operating at highest level of success within their sport, they know how it goes. So she understands rules. She's not new to this. Like she's been doing it
yeah,
and dominating. So I think in that I love the fact that she stood up and fought for herself and was an advocate because a lot of times, a lot of people of color, particularly black women, feel like no one cares and no one got their back. So for her to sit there and say, "Nah, I'm gonna stand on it," and then after they said, "Do you regret saying what you said?" No, who else gonna fight for me, right?
yeah.
So I applauded the situation when I see it because, like I said, my wife was watching it, and then I didn't see the match that night, so I went back to actually watch it to see the situation. But shout out to Coco, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to her standing up, you know what I'm saying? And not taking no issues, you know what I'm saying, and fighting for what's right. You feel me?
Yeah, let's go.
And speaking of fighting for what's right, man, I know we normally, try to have something where, we try to bring awareness to the people, man, but this has been
Hmm.
on my heart, for the last couple of days, especially some of the things that have been transpiring, taking place, man. So before we get right into, what we talking about, man, I want to play something. We're gonna play it, we come back, and then we're gonna
Okay,
just jump right in, all right?
all right, let's get it.
Started around 5:45 this afternoon at the AMC Theater located at Cermak Avenue and 47th Street here in Cicero during what was being billed as $4 movie night, which police here say traditionally attracts a large number of teenagers. Now, cell phone video provided to us from one would-be moviegoer shows dozens of teenagers being dispersed by authorities from the AMC's parking lot. That witness
in a shooting police say was racially motivated.
We will pursue this incident as a hate crime.
Police say the shooter, a white male wearing a tactical vest and mask, opened fire in a Dollar General store Saturday afternoon, killing 2 men and a woman, all of them black, before turning the gun on himself. Police on scene recovered an AR-style rifle and a handgun, one of them covered in hand-drawn swastikas.
This is a dark day in Jacksonville's history. Any loss of life is tragic, but the hate that motivated the shooter's killing spree adds an additional layer of heartbreak.
You see him? Okay,
somebody handcuffs.
Somebody's in handcuffs.
What's your thoughts before we get right into it, man? Because I just feel like it's so much going on. Me, I'm an avid moviegoer. People know that, and it's like no matter where we go, no matter
Mhm.
what we're doing now, we're no longer safe, and it's been like that for a while, man. And it's enough is enough. You know what I'm
What
saying? I'm
was
just
was the one for the movies that was here in Georgia?
no, so crazy thing was that was I think in Chicago, but
Mm.
they have the same South Lake Mall, and we
Oh, got you.
had an incident here in Morrow at AMC on Sunday, the same
Wow.
day, where they were saying that it was shooting inside of the movie theater. Then they tried to say it was a hoax, but we live in a place now where it's no longer safe to be out and about. You can't just go out
Right.
and enjoy life anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The situation that happened in Jacksonville, thoughts and prayers to the families of the victims, you know what I'm saying? Just a senseless crime. And, it's sickening. And, and excuse the tone of my voice for the people that's out there listening, man, but
Mhm.
I'm just frustrated. I don't like watching the news anymore because this is
Mhm.
why. We got back home Sunday night. I turned on the
Yeah.
news just here in Atlanta. There was several shootings over the weekend. A young lady lost her life tragically over, a small argument outside of a nightclub. Shot 6 times in the chest and one in the head. Like, what are we doing, people? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing? So
Yeah.
I apologize. You know what I'm saying? Because as you can tell,
Nah.
it's like it's telling why you mad all over again.
Get
You know what I'm
get
saying?
it off your heart, man.
It just hits home. And then for the last clip, for those that don't know, there was a shooting at UNC campus. You know what I'm saying? And I see the
Yeah.
shooter being handed and walked out in handcuffs. How is that possible? Why is that possible? So I'm sorry. I'm on my Stephen A. stuff right now. I'm gonna let you rock
Hey,
right
no,
quick
no,
because
no, man. You
I'm
good.
I'm getting I'm getting pretty hot, man.
Nah, man. I hate to see violence like this where it's senseless. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no reason why, and to see a lot of these crimes being played out, and you see that they're premeditated. All right, they're
Right.
planned for certain times, and now it's like you said, it's becoming so bad now that we are really starting to become desensitized, where it's like people don't even care anymore because it's another Tuesday, it's another Thursday that we
Yeah.
see situations like this. But yeah, I mean, think about that. I mean, how many of us go to a store, a Family Dollar or Dollar General, or anything like that? That could,
And you know
have
what's
been anybody.
crazy about that situation? The Jacksonville situation, the gunman left social media posts sent to the police, his parents. They knew what was going on. Nobody
Nobody did
acted on this
nothing.
situation. So you mean to
Wow.
tell me the police have information, the family has information, and that gentleman still was able to walk in and kill, those victims. And one of the victims, the young lady, she was
Yeah.
a Lyft driver, and she was dropping
Yeah.
somebody off at the store and lost her life for no reason,
No
for no
reason.
reason.
Wrong
So
place at the wrong time.
but if I walk into a neighborhood, I've got a hoodie on. If I could be out jogging, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
trying to get my exercise on, I have to worry about somebody chasing me down because they feel like I don't belong in this neighborhood and I can lose my life. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they'll
Like,
they'll call the police on you too
call
on top of
for
that.
what? That's what
It could
I don't
not
understand.
even, it don't even have to be it could be your neighborhood.
Yeah,
You right now where you live at is a great, neighborhood that you live in. If you could be in your own neighborhood where you live and pay mortgage and have,
and be
a house
profiled
and
for
everything
by
and
anybody.
still, be pulled over. So it sucks, man. I hate it. I hate the situation. I hate turning on the news and seeing, oh, another person, got killed, or and a lot of these things, like I said, it's just like what? It's just that people have that much hate that they're going to take it and plan to do this. And in most cases, did he end up killing himself?
Yeah, he killed himself apparently. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm not gonna say apparently, but if he killed those victims and
And then
turned the gun on
turn the
himself.
gun on himself.
Here's what I want to say to people. I don't advocate for violence, man. But if you're out here and those are the type of thoughts that you're doing, do them to yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
nobody did anything to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever your situation is, if you can't talk to somebody about it, then if you gonna harm anybody, harm yourself. I mean, don't harm yourself, but do harm to yourself versus taking an innocent life of somebody that
Right.
has nothing to do with you.
Because
And
these people have families, and now to know that, because now you have to consider everything now, because now everything becomes a trigger to you when you're going out. You think
yeah,
about the Walmarts and other places. Oh, well, this happened at there, or I can't go to the nightclub because I may lose my life because somebody may shoot it up. We've seen so many instances of that, even in schools now. We've seen
right,
so many school shooters that have happened and that are now becoming the norm, where now they're trying to put walls that are bulletproof in there, and glass, bulletproof glass in teachers' room. Some states or even try to institute teachers having guns. It's like, how do we get here? How do we get to this point?
Man, I don't know, man. I just really don't know, to the point where, like, at the beginning of the school year, I'm looking online for bulletproof backpacks for my
Yeah,
10-year-old to go to
yeah,
school.
so
So, I mean, what happened to the days of us, being able to pick out a book bag, or, what I'm saying, just go to school or just be out anywhere without, what I'm saying, the fear of something happening. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you this, man. What's your thoughts, like, when it comes to, like, should people have extensive background checks when it comes to obtaining weapons? Now I know you got this is have a free right, this is a
mhm.
country, you have that side of it, but there's something that has to be in place. Guns should not be this obtainable, for people without some type of check. That's just my opinion. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's, man, that one is so loaded because there's so many levels to that, right? On one hand, yes, you could say, okay, I'm gonna institute, extensive background checks where you have to have XYZ and certain different requirements and all these different things. But the reality of that situation is a lot of criminals are not going through the traditional way of acquiring a firearm legally, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Let's just be honest. I didn't even understand the whole idea of registering a gun and going to, buy it and having to get background checks really until I moved to Georgia. Honestly,
yeah,
that was not my understanding the history of how it relates to, possessing a firearm. Somebody knows somebody, or this person plug you with this, is kind of go like that. So I think on one hand, yes, it would be great to have these extensive things, but then also, like you said, the criminals are not really going through the traditional avenues, right?
right,
And then a lot of these companies and situations, and even within the government, they're not, making laws or stricter laws because they benefiting from it too,
yeah,
right? all these associations, all these policies in place that could be in place, and politicians and governments and big businesses and things, they all benefit from these things. When they have these massive shootings, things like that, they are making money off of that. So it doesn't really benefit them to say, "Oh, nah, we're gonna not have guns," right? But there are countries that ban guns, right? Not to say that we should be at that level, but it's like I don't know what is the correct way to go about it, right? Because like I
Yeah.
said, there's so many ways you can go about it. Because you can then say, all right, well, if you're not doing extensive background check, if you're caught with the weapon and it's not registered, or found out to be whatever, you can institute stricter, laws as it relates to that, as far as doing, harsher times,
Yeah.
for jail time. But then now that creates a whole other problem. So it's like I don't really know what is the correct solution, but I definitely think we got to have more conversation as it relates to that, because then you got the people that like, this is my gun, you gonna have to
Yeah.
take it out,
You
pry
can
it out
take
my
it from me. Right.
hands,
Right.
like the right to bear arms, Second Amendment.
So here's another thing on the other side why I'm pretty frustrated, right, with this whole
Yeah.
situation, right? Because, how do you feel about our community going to war with one another, right? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You see it senseless act, black on black crime, you know what I'm saying? People get shot for looking at somebody wrong, right? But
Mhm.
when it's situations where it's someone from a different race, they institute violence on the community or doing something like that, there's no uproar. There's no kind of, okay, yeah, we get out, hold the signs, and we need to, justice, man. But like, so George Zimmerman, there's no reason why he should have walked around untouched. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's at shows, signing Skittle packs, and I mean,
Mhm.
just making a mockery of a situation. So like,
Yeah.
why don't we react to those things? But if you step on my shoe, we out and about. We ready to go at war with one another. So that.
I still want to know that myself. I find myself questioning that all the time. The older I get, it almost makes me think the question: are we that afraid of white people, or other cultures as it relates to that? Because, like you said, if someone, particularly if you in a gang territory, if you say the wrong gang or the wrong street, or you on the wrong block, you on the wrong city, wrong part of the city, people
Yeah.
ready to riot. You can be online like, what was the one in Chicago? What was it, O Block is the one they were
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. O Block and
It was that, don't
this,
come here, right? Even Jacksonville itself. When you think of Jacksonville, you think of Duval,
yep,
right?
yep.
They tell you, hey, don't come here at night. So when I think of places like that, or LA's, when you have, hey, you better make sure you got the right color. You go to Chicago, you gotta make sure you wear your hat a certain way. You go to New York, make sure you don't, everyone has these areas that they say, hey, not really safe for other people of color, meaning other black people. But
That's
like
just
you said, other people can go there and it's nothing done. It's like, where is all the energy for these people coming into these communities? It does. I mean, it makes me very upset about the situation that, like you said, that someone can take my life right now that looks like me. But if someone else comes over here to this neighborhood, say something like, there's no energy behind it. It's
yeah. I
just
mean,
another
just
Thursday. We just keep it moving. And I'm not saying, saying that, hey, we need to institute going eye for eye, but it's like, you're not even going to speak on it.
so
You're not going to attempt to do anything. Like, it's just nothing.
and here's another thing too, man. I know a lot of people were celebrating the situation that happened down in Alabama, right? But I looked at it from a different aspect.
Mm.
For once, I ain't gonna say for once. For well, as big as it was,
Yeah.
we came together,
Mm.
stood up to protect somebody that looked like you, looked like
Right.
me, right?
Right.
And then when they felt that, hey, they not playing, you see the energy kind of died down, but it was too late by now, because now we already united, we banded, and
Mm.
see what we was able to
Right.
accomplish,
Right.
right? That's the most frustrating part to me, because once again, like I said, we can be out. I could have bumped you wrong. Hey, my
Mm.
bad, brother. I need to prove a point. I'm gonna pull out a gun and kill you for whatever reason. For what?
Sure, you
You
can't
know what I'm
eat, you
saying?
can't even pump gas at certain places, at night.
Oh, don't go over there at this
Right, they
time of
know.
day.
Do not go over
Right.
here. And we joke about it like, haha, like that, but it's like, hold on. So I have to fear this someone who looks like me just because I'm in the wrong area. Like I can't go to this city to pump gas, or I can't go here to buy something. I can't go here and not have to, they ain't gonna protect my car because somebody gonna break into my car. It's like
Yeah.
what are we coming
So
to where now it becomes to that issue?
So let me ask you a question, man. So how safe do you feel when you're out and about, and what kind of precautions do you take when you're with your family? You know, you being a father, you being a husband. You know what I'm saying? Having children. Like, what does that? What does that look like? You know what I'm saying? When you're out
Uh,
and about.
hey man, I carry God with me. No weapons formed against me shall prosper. However,
Gotcha.
I live in the South, and in the South, they believe in the right to bear arms, Second Amendment. So, as someone that has become accustomed to some of the customs here within the South, I understand that as much as some things you may not be for or not, you understand that it's part of it. You have to almost do it, to even feel all right. The thing's gonna be straight. I
Yeah.
hate the situation of having to think like, man, I gotta go here. Let me make sure, okay. Because here in the South, it was very different for me to understand. Like someone would grab a firearm, like same way they would grab their wallet, or phone, or keys.
Yep.
I didn't understand that. I didn't come from that. So me growing up seeing it, if I saw somebody with a firearm, I know it was about to be a
It's
problem.
about to go down.
I'm about
Right.
to go a different way because I know how it's going to end. So now you can be in Publix and somebody like, oh yeah, they got the BOGO on the bacon. Yeah, how you doing, sir? And it's like, what are you doing with that? You got
Yeah.
this.
It's just
Like I
just out
see
in the
you.
open. You're right. You're right.
I wasn't accustomed to that. So in my thing, I was always on the defense or ready to think like something's gonna happen. But to living in the South, that's normal. So I
Yeah.
had to kind of adapt to the situation of okay, this is just how it is. But what comes with that, you have to understand firearm safety, not only just have something to show it, but understand the damage it can do, what's the point of it, understanding, when and how, the laws of how it works. You can't just be out here trigger happy, like, yeah, I wish somebody would cut me off in traffic. Like, but this understanding, it's not a means to spark it if somebody, make you mad or cut you off or whatever. It's something, it's you only want to use it when you absolutely have to, and
Yeah.
understanding what comes with it. Because you got to realize I have a very very distaste and disdain as it relates to guns and violence. I've lost a lot of family members, particularly my father.
Yeah.
Right, my father was gunned down, and I never even had a chance to even have that life with my father because of that situation.
Yeah.
And I have other cousins and friends that I went to school with. A lot of people that have had situations where they, senseless violence, right?
I
And
mean,
knowing that situation, that somebody knows something, that someone has saw something, someone has
and
an
nobody
answer
says
that, and
anything.
no one says anything, right?
Yeah.
So I have it's a very hard one for me because, like I said, of just the history of it and just what it represents, and knowing for all intents and purposes, a gun is really. I mean, you could say, "Hey, I'm enthused and I love," but ultimately, you got it just to kill somebody. Ultimately,
Yeah.
like
True. Yeah.
it can't.
Absolutely.
You're not going there saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna wound somebody if they try to steal." You gonna kill them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just sucks as it what it relates to, but it's one of those things like it's better to have it and not need it, than to need it and don't have it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. I lost my brother, rest in peace, Travis, to a sensitive act of violence, mistaken
Mhm.
identity. You know what I'm saying? Somebody broke into somebody's car.
Mm.
He favored the gentleman that looked like him,
Yeah.
was chased down the street and was killed. You know what I'm saying? For no reason. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Very young. You know what I'm saying? Very young, man. So, this type of stuff hits me a little differently, just
Of
like
course.
yourself, because I've
Yeah. Yeah.
experienced it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people where I've been out. And you know what I'm saying? Once again, you can look at somebody wrong and they lifting up their shirt. I didn't know anything about that until
Yeah.
just like yourself, till I moved down to Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I can remember like it was yesterday. I was in Aiken for a previous company that I worked
Hmm.
for. Gentleman walked in, a white guy, and he saw a group of black, myself and some coworkers. He looked around and said, "If I'd have known all y'all was gonna be in here, I'd have went outside and got my gun." You know me, I'm not used to that.
Ooh,
That's
what
exactly
you talking about? Yeah.
that's how I'm like.
Yeah.
I looked around. I'm like, that's how y'all get down here. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it. I understand it's a
It's
different
different.
culture. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like everything needs to be taught. Have responsibility. Look up your local classes to handle firearms. You know what I'm saying, with some type of
Yeah. Safety
learning,
training. Yeah. Yeah.
safety precautions. And which brings me to another point, man. Like, so do you feel like America, or values the black life? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel protected? You know what I'm saying? When
By
you're out and
America.
about, just in general. You know what I'm saying? I just had to ask,
That
man.
was that you joking, right?
I had to ask
That
because
was a real question.
it is a real question because I hear it all the time. People say, well, people they don't care about us, right? They don't care
Yes.
about the black people. However, how can you expect someone else to value something that you don't value yourself?
Yeah.
What's your
No, of
thoughts on that?
course. Yeah, yeah. I can't say I feel like America gonna protect me or like, oh, my life matters. I don't
Right.
feel like that. There's a lot of situations I don't feel, but particularly in that. That's why I would never join the military because I'm not willing to lay down my life for someone else, so I don't expect America or anyone to protect me in that regard. I understand that you got to make sure you good within yourself because no one else really cares about it. And
Yeah.
to your point, a lot of things are not valued, particularly Black lives are not valued. So, and I think I talked about this a few seasons ago when I said a lot of people have designer shoes or nice shoes. A lot of people have nice cars. People have houses. They wouldn't go on there and spray paint them houses or their cars or their shoes because they value, like, no, these are precious.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. If you see value in something, you're not going to willing to damage or destroy it. So, like you said, if somebody bump you or step on your shoes, if you value this person as a man, as a woman, as a person, nah, man. Hey, like, watch where you going,
Yeah,
whatever.
my
Or you
bad,
can just
bro. You
talk
know what I mean?
trash or whatever. Like, you don't have to turn up the temperature and turn it to something else. And I feel like people are so used to doing that it's the norm now. I'll give you a story, man. This happened to me at you actually came to our vow renewal, right?
Yep.
So we did a 10-year vow renewal last year. And the company we went with to use the facility was a company, they didn't really have everything together, but my wife really loved the space. So we like, all right, cool. So once we did the space, when you rent a space, most places will have a deposit. You pay your thing. Once your event is over, you get your deposit back. So
Yep.
we were supposed to get our deposit. We did a wedding like Friday, supposed to get deposit back Monday. I'm like, hey, things happen. I'm gonna give a whole extra week.
Okay.
Right. So I waited the extra week, and then the extra week, they they made a whole deal. And I'm like, hey, it was supposed to be done this time. And they're like, oh no, we need to verify this and that. I'm like, well, y'all already took the money. Like, it's not in my account. Like, it was supposed to be like, we're gonna hold it, but they already cashed
Took it. Yeah,
they
yeah.
cashed the check. So me being, professional, hey, I understand that. So I'm just trying to check on my money and get the situation straight. And that turns to the person decides they don't want to have anything to do with me because I'm bothering them now. They're like, I have to work. And this was a young lady, right? So the white lady tells me pretty much, I don't have time for this. I'll deal with you whenever I can. Okay, cool, no problem. So I get a phone call and it's the husband. And the husband is rah, rah. Yeah, you threatened my wife and don't nobody threaten my wife. And he's going off. And I'm like, sir, let's have a conversation. I said, sir, listen, I'm talking to you. I can easily escalate the situation and turn it up. We can handle this as like gentlemen, or we can turn to something else. There's no need for us to go to a certain level, but I'm fully prepared to if that's what you like to do.
If that's what you want to do, right?
But let's just think about what I'm saying. And I started to break down, well, this is everything to say. This is with the contract, this, and this. And then I'm telling him stuff that his wife didn't allude to tell him. So now he's looking stupid because he didn't got rah, and I'm just talking to him like, yep,
Yeah.
okay.
But see that situation.
And in that
ended.
situation, if I wasn't in my right mind to say, okay, because you know me, I'm petty. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pull up on you. Where you at? So,
Yeah.
but in that situation, I understood like it easily could have turned into something else because you're going off what someone told you.
And that
Versus
happens
getting the story. You get what I'm
all
saying?
the time.
And that happens all the time. You heard me talking about my father. Same situation happened. Yep, this person did this. Spray the whole neighborhood, right? So same thing. People say this person did this. Before we fact check and see what's going on, you have family members get caught up in situations trying to protect other friends or family members or significant others. And now you put yourself in a situation where you done took somebody's life or done something that you didn't even get all the full story. And now your life is taken away. It affects your children, your family, your friends, everyone that's associated with. And when you don't think about just, outside of yourself, you are going to make selfish decisions. I understand. If I go out and do something, that affects everyone that is associated with me, not
affects
just
your whole
me.
world, bro.
Particularly my kids, my wife, like immediately. my siblings, my friends, you, like anyone I'm associated with it. So I have to understand, okay, what is it really worth, right? If I do this, what's going to be the ramifications of that? And taking that extra second to do that, it makes it much easier for you.
So you brought up a great point, man, because a lot of people don't do that, right? A lot of things are off of impulse. You know what I'm saying? That just shows level of
100%.
growth and maturity. And I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know me. I used to be. I never classify myself as a
You're
hothead,
very
but
high head. You are
yeah,
high
but
head.
I've grown
Yeah.
a lot. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I've grown a lot is because I have things to live for. It's just not me anymore. So before, I react to certain things. I don't want to react off emotion. My grandfather always told me, like, if something happens, think about it. Take a second, think about it. If it's an argument, think about it for a couple of days. If you still feel that way in a couple of days, then you address it. 9 times out of 10, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that happens that people just, I'm gonna go get a gun, I'm gonna go do this.
Oh yeah,
It could
easily.
have just been solved. You know what I'm saying?
Conversation.
Just conversations like what you had. You know what I'm saying? And
Definitely.
it brought another great point. Like, so what will it take for us to say it's enough is enough, and start meeting resistance with resistance? And what I mean by, I'm tired of seeing, I know I said it earlier, man, but I am tired of seeing people hating us because of the way we look and using that as an excuse to go create or do an act of violence, man. So
Right.
what is it going to take, man? You know what I'm saying? The conversation, trying to talk it out, I get it, right?
Doesn't work.
I'm for that.
You on your Malcolm X.
I'm
By any
feeling
means
some,
necessary.
I'm feeling some sort of way today because once again, it's disheartening, it's sickening to turn on the news and see this type of stuff every day, man. So what do you think what do you think is gonna happen, man?
I don't think there ever be an even playing field across the board where things would be equal. I remember having this debate when I was in high school, when I moved to North Carolina, and I was in a class and I was the only black student. And they were saying, like, do you ever think racism is going to ever go away? I was like, never. And they were like, but you don't think ever in 2030? No, never. This is what this country was built on, man. But more importantly, you got to understand, man, people, like, the way it is now, because everything is accepted, everything is okay. It's like no one really cares about the other person across the board. And in America, there's only two things that's really respected, and that's money and violence.
Money and violence.
Right? Like everything that when it relates to, America has a lot of Americans have this chip on our shoulder, like we big bad America. You could go to another country, be like, man, I'm American. What's wrong with you? Crazy. Like we look down on other countries, we look down on people from other cultures that are not American. We have that chip on our shoulder.
Right.
So we feel like we the bullies, right? Ain't nobody gonna mess with us. We know what's going on. And so when you have that, you understand that unless it's some violence being done, nothing is really respected. Because like you said, if you go in and eye for eye, now we got to address it. Now you have the National Guard and these laws being put in place where things get like that. And we don't want it to get to that point, but the only other way to hit it is in the pockets.
Yeah.
Think about, when you look at, as much as people joke now, like, yeah, we ain't about to, we shall overcome in March and all these other things, but that's one aspect of it. Do you not understand that when people were saying we're boycotting this company or boycotting, we ain't spending no money over here.
Yeah.
All this money is going right here in the community. We gonna keep it right here. So understand that when you go to your Trader Joe's and your Sprouts is not in your community, you just taking money out of your community. And it's sometimes it's just simple as just that. Understanding that people are not going to respect it until their pockets start to get hurt. Think about what was going on in the pandemic. When people were saying certain things, they started to pull sponsor, they started to pull money, they started to pull this. It was a different tune. Oh yeah, no, we're in solidarity. We stand now. Everyone is, we trying to sing the praises. So as long as we still spending that money and still patronizing these businesses and still buying these things and not buying black and supporting our other black creators and business owners, you think they're gonna feel like anything to hurt? Because you can say all you want, but what is your dollar saying?
Yeah, I mean, you spending that money with the same people that don't care.
You may dislike or didn't like the ad that we had in this Gucci or whatever company, but you still spending the money. So
yeah,
it ain't hurting me. Yeah, I may face a few backlash, but my number's gonna go up because now you didn't post it 20 times. Now people got to see what it is. So we got to understand just that. We talked about, we had an episode on Black Wall Street, and just We understood the $1 trillion spending power that we have within us. You know, that any brand that we want to make popular, we literally think about Champion. When we were coming up, Champion was like in Payless. Like you was
Yeah.
not gonna get caught wearing
Champion was in
Champion.
Walmart, bro. Like, you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
It was in like Payless and like $17.99. Now you can't even get no flip flops for $17. You might spend $65 for some flip flops with the C on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we have inflated that brand to add value to it. So we have the power to make things great. What's hot, what's not. We just don't use it in the right manner as a community together. We have individuals who do it, but collectively, we kind of missed the ball on that part. We will, hey, I'm good. I'm straight. My family's good. I'm okay. We're not worrying about reaching back. And I know it sounds like cliche and it sounds like we beat a dead horse, but a lot of other coaches do the same thing where they look out for one another. And we do that as well, but we have to do it collectively more.
And consistently, bro. Like,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
like the situation that happened here, you know, in was it last year? I believe it was at the I think it was the massage parlor or whatever the situation was, right? And less than 24 hours, there was a bill already out that was going to be considered as a hate crime. You know what I'm saying? Like, this type of stuff happens to us for like all the time. You know what I'm saying? Or I think, and my information could be wrong, but I think they approve lynching as a form of a hate crime now. After all these years, you mean tell me
like 70 years later,
people can still be out here lynching people and it wasn't considered a hate crime? So I just feel like we have to take more responsibility for ourselves and our culture, because as you can see, the cards are stacked against us. You know what I'm saying?
The game is rigged.
It's
a rigged game,
man. I feel like, you know, we have to get better at, like, I need to see you as a person and not as the young people say, as an op. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things could be talked out, could be rectified with just a simple conversation. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, before we get out of here, I had another question for you. What are some ways that we can start to protect our communities from senseless acts of violence? What do you feel like we can do to ensure, like how they did back in the day, like the Black Panthers when they started out was to police the police, to protect their community? How can we get back to that so we can avoid or minimize things like the Jacksonville shooting or just school shootings, period? You know what I mean? Or just anything.
We got to get off the sidelines and get in the game, man. We can theorize and have all these practical things that could or possibly work. We got to get out and get our hands dirty. We got to get in the mud and get on the front lines. You think about our parents, grandparents, if you're fortunate enough to have great grandparents, they wasn't sitting watching things happen. They were out fighting for what they, you know, wanted, what they believed to be right, what they believed to be fair. Because of their sacrifices, we have the luxuries that we have today because of them. So it's time out for us to sit there and keep talking about all the things that are bad, all the things that we have to just implement change. And even if you can't, I know sometimes we feel like, well, I'm just one person. What can I do? Well, you know, someone that you can talk to and bring in. You have a lot of, you know, teenagers. We talked about teenagers now. A lot of these young boys is lost, man. Like, just don't have no type of guidance.
No guidance.
And the first people that show them guidance is the streets. So they like, well, if my own family don't care about what I'm doing and how I'm moving, why would I care about if I live or die? You got to reach in and touch one and talk to them. Let me mentor you. Let me show you a skill. Let's do a Father's Day brunch. Not even Father's Day, just a father-son brunch or just a male's brunch, like something like that. I can't tell you how many times I went to the men's prayer breakfast as a youngster for the church, right? I mean, it seemed like it was like once a month almost. Like on a Saturday, we would go and it would just be men from 5, 6 on up to 80, 90 years old.
All different ages.
Just sharing their things. But now we rather criticize the young ones that's out here wilding or doing something crazy. Look at them. They ain't got no home training. Well, why ain't you teaching them? Like, it's easy to point fingers and find the fault. But what are you doing? What are you going to do to help them see that there is a better way? What skill are you going to show them? What job are you going to create? What opportunity are you going to show them that gives them a better understanding of what they could be doing other than this. Because if the street is the only one who's showing them opportunities or giving them a couple dollars to put in their pocket or giving them a job or whatever, who you think they're gonna go towards?
Yeah.
We got people that
They're
got
gonna
money
go
that
to the
has
streets, bro.
companies that need people at the time when it's summertime. Create programs where you can actually have someone do a mentorship, right? An internship, something to just show these kids there's a better way. Not only that, there's a lot of adults that don't know what they want to do with their life.
Yeah.
We have to stop being so selfish with the knowledge and share that, right? And not worry about the people who don't support you or don't do whatever. Because a lot of us get caught up into that. Well, if I do it, black people don't support me in this, and they nobody. Who cares? There are
Yeah.
what, 7 billion people in the world? You think 2 people are gonna make the difference of the other 7 billion
Yeah.
people? like what are we really talking about? You're gonna sit here and complain about this. You know how many other people in the world? We spend so much time giving energy to the people that are not doing things, that the people that are, they feel like, well, if I'm doing it and you gonna still worry or put all the attention to them, then why should I support you in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to do more than just talk about and theorize and post and share stuff. Like, that's cool. It's cool for a hot second to say and hey and give your think pieces and do your videos. It's cool. But
Yeah.
what are you doing? If you can't look back at the end of the year, what have I done for myself? What have I done for my community? What have I done for my family? What have I done to help uplift, to push my culture, my race? What have I done? If you can think of that mindset, and I know some people are like, oh, I'm worrying about as long as I'm good. Well, okay, well, next time you want that opportunity, you want that person to reach back, keep that same energy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
No,
saying? You got to look at it on a bigger scale. You have to think beyond yourself. Anytime I do something even with my classes of acting, I'll tell them, look, I'm not just trying to be your acting coach. I'm trying to mentor you. I have a student now, 12 years old. And I give him life stuff. And I'm talking to him, and his parents are like, appreciate you. Like, I've never met someone who was so invested. I'm like, look, I understand. I have 2 sons myself. I was a young black boy. I have, brothers and siblings and nephews and cousins and all these things that I see. So anytime I get an opportunity to talk to somebody, whether it's young, old, whatever, I'm always trying to share something. If I can help you get to wherever you trying to go, why not? Anybody can call me and say, hey man, I'm trying to do this. Okay, what you need? How can I help you? You got to think beyond yourself, because it's so much bigger than just you and your circle and where you live and your city, your hood, your town. It's so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
And once we understand that and realize this don't belong to me being here don't belong. It's not just about me. I'm not here just for me. You got to think beyond that. I think once we start to understand that and get out and do stuff and stop all this talking, like put all the phones up, put all the mics up. Let's just go out and do the work.
Yeah.
Hey, drop a location. Hey, we meeting here and we gonna do XYZ. Let's do that. Then we
I'm
can
gonna
make a
lead.
difference.
I'm gonna lead the people with this, man. Be aware of your surroundings, and see value in someone that looks like you. Just see value in people, period. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what the world is missing. You know what I'm saying? We don't value a life. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's my life against yours. And at the end of the day, I'm always going to self-preserve pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you happen to have a gun, or, you know what I'm saying, or a gun owner, register with some classes, get to some teachings. You know what I'm saying? Start teaching your children, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying, things
Gun
to be
safety, yeah.
aware of, self-awareness when you're out in public. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that these things don't continue to happen. And when they do happen, we need to start banding together more consistently. Not saying that we're not,
Yeah.
but we need to do it more consistently to send a message like, hey, I know what we're used to, but they're not playing no more. You know what I'm saying? We're done with the days of you could just come in here and walk into my church and kill 7 members. And then this gentleman walks out in handcuffs. If he walks out in handcuffs, his eye needs to be hanging out the side of his face. Something needs to be done to send a message, right?
Right.
Once again, I'm not promoting the violence. I'm promoting the protection of my people. That's
Right.
what we need to get back to. And it starts young. Show these young women, these young men, how to respect each other, how to, talk things out. You know what I'm saying? Because if
Yeah.
you do that when they're early enough, they grow up to be responsible and, self-thinking adults to where, hey, everything does not have to, have to be violence. I don't have to always pick up the gun to solve my problems. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't protect yourself. Just be cautious, protect yourself, and respect people that look like you. That's all I got, brother.
Yes, sir. That's it. That's it. That's all that
Yeah,
need to be
man. That's
said.
it. So
keep it that simple, man. We definitely needs to do a better job and continue to do that, man. So, like I said, if y'all listen to our voice, man, y'all hear this, you hear the passion and just the seriousness of what we're talking about, man. This is an ongoing problem that has been going on for years,
yeah,
and we can't wait for anyone else to come solve this for us. This is us.
we got to do
We
it.
yeah, we got to make it happen, man.
Yes,
So
sir, man. Shout out,
definitely
shout
shout
out
out
to you,
to you for
Chris,
that.
man. Look, bro, I gotta apologize, man, because once again, I'm just so passionate when it comes to stuff like this. Because once again, bro, I got kids. You got kids. Like this, the
Mhm.
kind of world we living in. This is what we're gonna leave to the youth that's coming behind us. Somebody got
Yeah,
to do something. So
of
why
course,
not
man.
us?
I
Yes,
feel
sir.
it. I feel it. Before we get into my absolute favorite, I definitely like to shout out. Hold on, let me show my shirt for video. I got the Super Uncle for in the Super Mario theme. Shout out
Okay.
to Tailored Arts for the shirt and my niece's nephew for making that shirt for me.
Yeah, yeah. I got
But
a
hey,
shirt that we talked about it. It's coming, ladies and
we already
gentlemen.
know
October.
we're gonna debut that joint in the coming weeks.
Yes, sir.
Hey, but before we get out here, man, it's time for my absolute favorite part of the show.
I'm gonna tell you why
Tell
I'm
us
mad.
why
I'm
you
gonna tell
mad.
you why I'm mad. I'm gonna tell you why.
Hey, bro. So you already know why I'm upset today.
Okay.
However, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out early. Football season is around the corner. You know what I'm saying. I get tired of seeing people already sending the memes, dog. Like the season ain't even started yet. You know what I'm saying. For those that don't know, I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan through and through.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying. I don't
Yes.
bother nobody. I learned a long time ago because of my temper. I don't bother nobody. Okay. So stop with the messages. Stop texting me. You know what I'm saying? Cowboys eliminated already. You know what I'm saying? And your team is trash, and you don't even watch sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that. Well, listen, I'm tell you, it's
Dang.
two things that really make me mad. One, if I call you, don't hit the red button. Just let it ring. Okay. If I know you send me the voicemail, we're gonna have a problem. Okay. That's just the first thing. Two, if you don't watch sports or if you're not even avid sport, you like just don't comment on my team, bro. Like I don't. If I ain't picking with you, leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta. It's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, man. I don't need to be picked with. You feel me?
Hey
So I'm just
man,
putting it
y'all
out there.
y'all Cowboys fans are something else, man. Y'all are
No, dog. Because
everywhere. Y'all the
I'm different.
loudest. Y'all the most sensitive.
I'm different because I don't bother nobody. You understand what I'm saying? I don't
you,
bother you. I don't bother
it's not
nobody.
about you bothering someone. It's like a cop wearing a uniform. You still a cop. So if
Doesn't matter.
you got to start, you still a Cowboys fan
I
regardless. So
understand that.
there's no such thing as I'm the good one. You're not.
I'm gonna
You
tell you like this.
represent the star the same way that police officer represent the badge.
Tell you
Protect the
like this,
blue.
bro.
You
Check
trying to
this out.
respect the star. So you
Check this
represent
out.
the brand, man.
Check this out. I'm gonna leave this out here too before we go. Because I get picked with so much, y'all better hope. Y'all better hope we don't ever win a Super Bowl while I'm still alive and breathing. Because if we do,
We will the world gonna shut down because
yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
it's gonna be
Okay,
a rise across the world.
that's all I got, Joe. I'm not telling all you.
Hey man, yeah, hey, it's football season is coming up, man. After seeming like it's been gone forever, man. You know, a lot of people about to be busy on Sundays and Saturdays and
Yeah,
Fridays with people on Friday night lights. So,
that's right.
hey man, it's gonna be a great time. Take the time to enjoy some time with your family, watch some football, get to learn about the game, enjoy some camaraderie.
Yeah,
Don't text Irv because he
don't.
might be in his feelings depending on what the score of the game is.
And if you're local, I'm going to pull up. I'm just gonna be. I'm putting that out there. If you're local, I'm going to pull up. So choose your words and your means wisely. Okay.
But no, man, we definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in to this episode, man. We hope to continue to bring great episodes and continue to bring something great for our people, because we are the people's podcast.
Yes,
But
sir.
kinfolk, please remember when I talk, you talk, we talk, that's that free talk right here on the people's podcast.
Peace.
Catch y'all next week.